Headed down the shore? Skip the hassle. Let Beach Caddy handle the heavy lifting. Bellhop and beach cart rentals are available in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, and Wildwood. Use the promo code Jimbo for 10% off bellhop and cart rentals. Beach Caddy takes the stress out of your Jersey Shore trip. Go to beachcaddy.app. Use the promo code Jimbo for 10% off your move in, move out bellhop service and beach cart rentals. Best beach carts at the Jersey Shore. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for August 26, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the podcast. It is Tuesday. That means it's time for a little motivation / positivity. And after that Phillies game, we certainly could use a little positivity in our life. But this quote, Tuesday motivation / positivity is brought to you, as always, by Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com to see how you can join and get involved and what all they have to offer. And we here at This Day in Philly Sports History are proud members of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. All right, but this saying, I saw this and it really got me thinking. I like it. And there's many different ways to interpret this. But the saying is, the same boiling water that softens a potato also hardens an egg. And as I said, there's different ways you can go with this, but to me, essentially to me, it's saying your situation does not determine your outcome. How you respond to it does. And again, it's easy to say if you're in a good situation, just deal with it, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and move on. But even if you're dealt a bad hand, it does not mean you have a death sentence in life where you're never going to amount to anything. And I think oftentimes we forget this. And sometimes even if you have a good hand dealt to, does not guarantee success. You see it all the time. To use the poker analogy, somebody with 2-7 offsuited can play their way into winning the pot, even though the guy across the table from you has pocket aces. But is it easy? It is easy to say. It's how you respond to the situation. It's much harder to act on that. And we're all faced with adversity in some way or another. But I'm a firm believer it's in how you deal with it. Are you going to crumble and fold, or are you going to hit it head on, figure out a solution, and move on? And even in this analogy or saying or quote, essentially, both the potato and the egg have different makeups. Obviously, an egg is very fragile. In the water, it hardens and becomes something edible that you can eat and enjoy. At the same token, the potato is hard, but it softens, almost adapts to that water and comes out and you're able to eat a potato. So either way, you're able to be successful in a situation. It's just how you deal with it. The potato kind of adapts and becomes malleable and you can eat it. The egg becomes hard, tough, and pushes through. Again, you're still able to eat it. So it all, to me, comes down to how you respond to adversity, how you respond to your situation. Everybody responds differently, and that's okay. You do what works and what's best for you. However, everybody can come out of their situation, no matter how good or how bad the original hand was dealt. Everybody can come out with it better. So whether you want to be the potato or the egg in this scenario, folding is not an option. Not being edible in this situation is not an option. So you get to choose. You can avoid it and stay stagnant. You can stay hard and unedible like the potato. And unless you're rocky, you can stay fragile and soft like the egg and unedible. But either way, you can adapt and overcome your situation. It's just how you respond. You can adapt, overcome it, and get better. So hopefully you can take something out of that this week. But the same water that boils a potato or hardens a potato, or I'll get it right. The same water that softens a potato is the same water that hardens an egg. So take that with you as you go through your week. no matter what your situation is, come out of it, hit it head on, and become a better person because of it. And that is our Tuesday motivation / positivity for this week. Brought to you, as always, by the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. Go to clashingconferences.com for details on how you can join. All right, so from positivity to the polar opposite, and not a good game by the Phillies at all. 13-3. Christopher Sanchez just was not good. I think you can chalk it up to just a bad start. He just seemed off. Was cruising through 3 innings, and then kind of the wheels fell off. But again, I think you can overcome that. I mean, every now and then your starters are going to have bad starts, but offensively and defensively, this team was not good. They had their chances. They jumped on the Mets early. They had a chance to break it open at one point. Just couldn't get the runners in. And then defensively, man, just not a solid game defensively. And the biggest fear heading into this series after one game, I know there's still 2 games left, was breathing life into this Mets team. And we said yesterday, it's the last thing you want to do. You have a chance to bury them. Now, the Phillies can still win these next 2 games and come out of this better, but just not a good showing up in New York, which has been like a house of horrors. 8 straight games they've lost, and they haven't even been particularly close. So, Luzardo's on the mound today. Need a strong bounce back from him. Jordan Romano, if I never see him pitch again, this is probably about the 5th time I've said this, I think you just need to DFA him immediately. Dude is terrible. Haircut, everything. Doesn't matter. This dude is horrible, and it brought him into a close game, and all of a sudden it was a blowout. I mean, the Phillies, when they came in, I believe they were only down 2 runs, and just keeps getting lit up. And I'm going to do something that a lot of people in this town don't do, and something that I've done to a certain point. But I'm calling out Bryce Harper. Where was he at yesterday? Didn't really have much going offensively. He did have a single, but really that single was only because they were holding the runner on at first. You got to step up, dude. You are the high-priced, high-money superstar, quote-unquote, on this team. You got to do something. Terrible in the field. Should have had Soto. That was just rundown 101 that you just didn't do it the right way. That was horrible. Put them in a bad position. And look, you're coming out wearing Mets colors to kind of troll and talk your trash a little bit, and that's how you play. I need more out of you, Bryce, today as well as tomorrow. You need to put this team on your back, channel your inner Allen Iverson, put them on your back, and win these next 2 games, because you didn't have it yesterday. And in a game that had a series that had that much magnitude, and you have a chance to bury your rivals, maybe instead of wearing the orange gloves and the Mets-colored cleats, you do something at the plate. You hit a bomb. You not make a little league mistake on a rundown. Like, I don't know. And maybe Bryce doesn't get called out a lot in this town, but he needs to be called out. You, as the superstar on this team, you need to carry this team. You need to put them on your back, and you need to earn that $330 million contract. You want an extension? Earn it. And again, it was kind of cool, whatever. You're wearing the Mets orange, but you didn't do shit. You didn't do anything to help this team yesterday. In fact, you hurt them. So, Bryce, I need you to step up, channel Allen Iverson, put this team on your back, and come out tonight and explode on this team. That is all I have to say. All right. Eagles news. They continue to get everything, the roster set, cuts. The 53-man roster is due by 4 p.m. today. They did cut Kenyon Green, who they acquired in the trade for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So essentially, leads me to believe that they just wanted to get rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, whether it was for money, whether it was fit, attitude, whatever it is. So essentially, you got rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson for nothing. Still some questions there in the secondary. I don't know. But that was a kind of a surprising move. And then Kyle McCord got cut. Something tells me they'll try to get him on the practice squad if nobody else picks him up. But more moves coming. I still feel Howie has something up his sleeve, so we'll see how that goes. But Eagles roster, 53-man roster, will be set at 4 p.m. today. And a little bit of sad news. Condolences to the family of Jim Murray, former general manager of the Eagles, who put together the Super Bowl 15 team, as well as the co-founder of the Ronald McDonald House, passed away yesterday. So condolences to the Murray family. Never got to meet Jim, but just seeing him in interviews, he seemed like he was a fun-loving guy, loved the Eagles, and helped put together the first Eagles Super Bowl team for Super Bowl 15 as general manager. So condolences to the Murray family. All right. Kind of anticlimactic now, but yesterday's trivia answer, we talked about the Phillies and Cubs playing that 26-23 game back in 1922. Phillies team record for runs in a game is 29 back in 1894. But I asked you, what is the modern record for runs in a game for the Phillies? That is 26 in a 26-7 win over the Mets in 1985. Von Hayes hit 2 home runs in the first inning of that game. Could use a 26-run outburst tonight. Bryce, looking at you. All right, let's do some housekeeping. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, at PhillyJimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Spread the word. All that other good stuff. And if you are a new listener, welcome. We're glad to have you. Programming note, next week, we will unveil and premiere the Brotherly Birds Breakdown, the Eagles pregame show I'm doing with my brother, where we'll break down the game, give our 3 keys, do some fantasy and betting picks, as well as get you everything you need for the Eagles game that week. So the Brotherly Birds Breakdown premieres next week, anywhere you get your podcast, as well as on YouTube. All right, so let's get into our top 5 of the first 25 years of the century. Yesterday, we did the top 5 players in Philly history. Lots of debate on including Jason Kelce in there. A lot of people said, you could have put Lane, you could have put BG, Fletcher. But I get it. It's a debate. Some people said you flip a couple of in the top 5, but everybody agreed that Allen Iverson is the top athlete in Philly since 2000. Today we're going to look at the top Flyers since 2000. Some honorable mentions: Jeff Carter and Mike Richards. Those two always just seem to go together like peanut butter and jelly. Jacob Voracek, Chris Pronger, Kim Janssen, Wayne Simmons, and of course, Scotty Hartnell. So who are the top 5 in Flyers history since 2000? We're going to start with number 5, Danny Briere, playoff Danny, who always seemed to step up when the games mattered the most. He comes in at number 5. Number 4, Keith Primo. Kind of a short time here, cut short due to the concussions, but obviously the most memorable moment in Flyers history, probably other than the 2010 Stanley Cup run, was that 5 overtime game against the Penguins back in 2000. He comes in at number 4. Number 3, Kimmo Timonen, leader and an all-star of that 2010 team, a fan favorite, grinder, just went in there and did the things that needed to be done. Number 2, Simone Gagne, who was a goal-scoring machine, had the game winner in that Game 7 against Boston in the playoffs to send the Flyers to the Eastern Conference Final. Another fan favorite, but Simone Gagne comes in at number 2. And the number 1, again, should be no surprise, barely missed the top 5 list for yesterday in all Philly athletes, and that is Claude Giroux. He was the captain, the cornerstone of those teams. Most memorable was that 2012 playoff series against the Penguins when he came out, beat the crap out of Sidney Crosby, and then comes down and score a goal. So there's your list. Number 1, Claude Giroux. Number 2, Simone Gagne. Number 3, Kimmo Timonen. Number 4, Keith Primo. And number 5, Danny Briere. Now it's your turn. Who's too high? Who's too low? Who'd I miss? Are you going to call me out for my hockey knowledge? All of that is fair game. Discord channel, social media. Back to the Future voice and text line, 267-495-8531. If you want to vent and rant about the Phillies display yesterday up at Citi Field, that is all fair game. But let me know your thoughts on the top 5 Flyers since 2000. Want to show off your Philly pride without saying a word? Philly Goat has you covered. From tees, hoodies, shoes, and hats, their gear screams Philly louder than an Eagles fan at the vet. Whether you're tailgating in South Philly or trying to flex down the Jersey Shore, do it in style. Hit up phillygoat.com, use the promo code Jim Montgomery, and get 10% off your order. Philly Goat, because being Philly ain't a choice, it's a way of life. Go Birds! All right, August 26th. Let's go back to 2008. And after falling behind 7-0, the Phillies battled back to beat the Mets 8-7 in 13 innings when Chris Coste hit the walk-off single. Now, for Chris Coste that game, he entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning, managed to go 4 for 4 with a double as the Phillies took over first place, at least for the day. They would drop back down to second the next night by dropping one to the Mets. But they would take over first place for good in 2008 on September 20th, cruising to the division and then winning the World Series. But on this day, they battled back after falling back behind 7-0 to the Mets to win 8-7 in 13 innings. Chris Coste, 8th inning on, was the star. Fast forward to 2023, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all homered as the Phillies beat the Cardinals 12-1. Could use some of that power tonight. Zach Wheeler was on the mound, gave up 1 run, 3 hits over 7 innings while striking out 10. With the 3 home runs, though, the Phillies brought their total for the month of August up to 48, setting the team record for home runs in a month. The power barrage would continue as they ended the month of August with 59 home runs, which still stands as a team record. Again, Nick, Bryson, Brandon, you're all on this team. Let's get some of that power going up in New York tonight. And then in 2005, Bobby Abreu hit his 3rd grand slam of the season as the Phillies beat the Diamondbacks 11-3. And that leads into today's trivia question. Many players in Phillies history have hit 3 grand slams in a season. Who holds the Phillies record for most grand slams in a season? Hit me up on any of the socials, the Back to the Future voice and text line, as well as the Discord channel, which is the first link in the description. But who is the Phillies single season leader in grand slams hit? I want to also wish a very happy 30th birthday to Ranger Suarez. Could have used Ranger on the mound last night, but Ranger turns 30 today. Hopefully, he will end his 30th year on this planet with a World Series championship. Be sure to go to Lotwin. Fantasy football season is kicking off. Lots of drafts. I have starting this weekend, my drafts start. These things, the 3D custom hype chains make a great fantasy football winner and loser. So go to Lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD, get your 3D custom hype chain, and get hyped with Lotwin. Be sure to like, review, comment, subscribe, all of that other stuff, rate. All of those little things you do wherever you're listening to this help the algorithm out. So please help us out. Do all that. Today's trivia question: who holds the Phillies record for career or most grand slams in a season? In honor of Bobby Abreu hitting his 3rd of the season on this day in 2025. Phillies set a team record for home runs in a single month back in 2023. They ended with 59 home runs. And then in 2008, could use some of this magic tonight. Phillies fall behind 7-0 to the Mets, come back, beat them 8-7 in 13 innings when Chris Coste went 4 for 4 after coming in as a pinch hitter, including knocking in the game-winning run. We will have more on the Eagles' final roster tomorrow, as well as hopefully what is a Phillies win. But, man, like, Bryce, I need you to step up. I need one of those 3 home run games where you're playing out of your mind and running around the bases, celebrating, things like that. Like, I need you, especially if you're going to wear Mets colors, to troll them. You got to back that up, buddy. So hopefully we're celebrating a Phillies win tomorrow. But remember, the same boiling water that softens a potato also hardens an egg. Your situation, your circumstances do not determine your fate. It's how you respond to them. So you make the decision today that could have a lasting impact on your life. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for August 26, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Tuesday. Go Phils. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.